Are you looking to move to Traverse City or investing in Traverse City real estate? Maybe you're looking to retire in 5 years and you don't have a huge budget, but you're looking to secure a piece of northern Michigan here before prices increased way too much more. Maybe you've recently fallen in love with the area like many before you, but you're struggling to find the perfect home. Or maybe you don't even have a budget for a home yet. Maybe you're just looking for a good investment. Well, you come to the perfect video. I have sold a ton of vacant land, 56 this year and counting. I have seen some of the best deals and some of the worst mistakes in vacant land deals. So in this video, I'm going to tell you why you might want to consider buying vacant land too, as well as 3 common reasons that people end up reselling their land. And finally, a few tips about all my experience with dealing with vacant land here in northern Michigan. I hope you enjoy. Hey, I'm TJ Shimmick, a local real estate agent here in northern Michigan. This channel is all about moving to northern Michigan and buying real estate here in northern Michigan. If you haven't hit subscribe yet, please do. And if you're thinking about relocating to the northern Michigan area or buying real estate here, please give me a call. So let's jump into it. So why would somebody consider buying vacant land? The biggest reason for most is that it secures them a piece of northern Michigan. And oftentimes the land's going to be much cheaper than buying a home. So you might just buy a piece of land to save it for later. So what I've seen for vacant land here in northern Michigan over the last 5 years is vacant land has tripled in price. And the reason for that here in northern Michigan is that real estate has just got very, very competitive in general. Especially during COVID, a lot of people started flocking over here to buy investments and buy homes. And as the demand continues to grow, even to this day, competition for buying that perfect dream home has gone crazy. So a lot of people opt to buy vacant land. And even though it's almost tripled in price, it's way more affordable than trying to find that perfect home or property. So for some, securing that piece of northern Michigan looks like buying vacant land. Another huge reason for this is the flexibility to build. There are no rules to follow besides the simple township rules. Additionally, there's no timeline to build. You can hold on to it for as long as you want. The last reason why you might think about buying vacant land is it's just a lower cost of entry as an investment. You might decide to buy a piece of vacant land because you know the price is going to go up dramatically like it has over the last 5 years. I've seen a lot of people flip their land for a handsome profit. But for most, they're buying that piece of land to build their own home up here. But I've seen so many cases of where people go in planning to build that perfect home, but end up selling the land before it's a reality. So here are 3 of the main pitfalls that you should know about building your own home. So the first reason I see that people don't bring that home to life is, I say it all the time, life happens in real estate. There could be death, there could be divorce. I've had many people that now have grandkids and just aren't going to build 5 hours away from their grandkids anymore. So that's reason number 1. Reason number 2 is that people just don't really understand the cost to build a home. So you get some budget from an architect, maybe in the hometown they live now, but once you get up into northern Michigan, prices are different and it becomes a lot more expensive than they thought. And when you start putting together that budget that ends up being way, way more than you initially thought for the house, you might decide to sell your property. Here's some guidance on what you can expect. In the current market, at a minimum, it's going to be about $300 to $350 a square foot to build here in northern Michigan. So if you want to build a 2,000 square foot home, you're talking $650,000 to $700,000, and that doesn't even include the cost of the land. And that's just absolute bare bones quality materials. No solid countertops, no tile bathrooms. So if you are fortunate enough to find that perfect home already built on the market, you're going to probably be in that $200 to $250 a square foot to buy. And typically the fixtures and the building elements gone into that home are going to be way better quality than what you would for the $300 to $350 a square foot. So just make sure you understand that before you go out and think that you're going to build this home. Reason number 3 why people end up getting rid of their vacant land is they just can't handle all the details you need to build a home. Listen, building your home is going to feel like you have another full-time job sometimes. Look around whatever room you're in right now and think about all the decisions that had to be made just to finish that room. And how does this room fit into your floor plan? What color is everything going to be? There's different levels of quality for everything, from the paint to the trim to the sheetrock to the handles on the doors. Is the final design going to look good for everybody in the home? So all these questions need answers, and they're going to have to come from you. So a lot of people will start this project and then realize they just don't have what it takes to build this home. And I'm not saying this to discourage you from building a home. There are plenty of people that I've helped that have had incredible experiences building their dream home here in northern Michigan. But if you don't know what it really takes, you might end up shooting yourself in the foot. So before I leave you with that negative note, let me give you some tips about building that home on vacant land. The first tip is make sure there's been a survey done. You need to know your setbacks. Where can you put the house on the property? Second, make sure the land perks. And that means, can you put a traditional septic field on the land? Is the water table table too high? Do you need to have holding tanks? You got to get the health department out there to fully understand. The third thing you want to do is you need to understand the layout of the home and how you want to situate that home on your vacant parcel. Do you want the lot to be more open? Do you want more trees for shade? Do you think you might want to have a garden someday? You're going to need some sunlight. Do you want to see sunsets, sunrises? Do you want the sun coming across your house all day? What does the township zoning look like? Are you allowed to do what you want to do on the property? And finally, make sure you understand, are there any easements going through the property? Examples of easements. Is there an electrical easement? Is there a neighborhood driveway that goes right through your property that you might not know about? And the fourth tip is, make sure your property has the appropriate access that you're looking for. For example, internet's not as available as you might think in some areas. If you're looking for high-speed internet and you want to work for home, some pieces of vacant land are just not going to work for that. Maybe you want to be close to Traverse City. You got to make sure that that vacant land is accessible to get into town easily. Maybe you want to have really easy access to the hospital for medical reasons. All of these things are going to be real important for you to consider as you're looking at pieces of vacant land. The fifth tip here is to make sure, remember, we get all 4 seasons in northern Michigan. So you're going to want to have that property ready for when the snow falls. The snow is going to fall every winter, but you need to understand, how is that snow going to be managed in your vacant parcel? Are you in a development? Do you have a private road maintenance agreement? Or do you have your own private driveway and you might need to pick up a snowplow? All of these can be potential pitfalls for you in your process of building your own dream home. So if you're thinking about buying vacant land in northern Michigan, please give me a call. I'd love to know where you're at in the process and be able to help you out. I tried to stress it this whole video, but I can't stress it enough. If you do the planning wrong or don't fully understand your parcel, it really can go south quickly. So I'd love to be a resource for you, and I have loved talking to all of you that have reached out. Hopefully this video was informative to you, and if you haven't already, please subscribe, and we'll see you in the next video.